Your Excellency, the fourth order of the day is second reading of Nigerian Police Force Training Institutions, Establishment Bill 2024 SB 470. The distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this chamber on Wednesday, 5th June 2024. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Abdul Hamid Malam Madori to move the motion for the bill to be read the second time.
Chairman on Police Affairs, most respected distinguished Senator Abdul Hamid Malam Madori, you may wish to move your motion to proceed on this bill.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Ahmed Abdul Hamid Malam Madori, representing the entire people of Jigawa Northeast. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to lead the debate on the general principles of this important bill, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Nigerian Police Force Training Institutions to serve as a high-level centers for the provision of professional training and other related matters. This bill was read for the first time in this hallowed chamber on Wednesday, 5th June 2024. This bill seeks to provide for a comprehensive legal and institutional framework for the establishment and operations of the Nigerian Police Force Training Institutions, to provide holistic and special training in any professional field relevant to policing and law enforcement. The bill is born out of an urgent need to reform, professionalize, and enhance the capacity of our police force in meeting the dynamic security challenges of our nation. We all recognize the pivotal role the Nigerian police force plays in maintaining law and order, protecting lives and property, and ensuring the safety and security of all citizens. However, we must equally acknowledge that the complexity of modern crime, the emergence of sophisticated criminal networks, and the increased demand placed on our officers necessitate a new approach to training and capacity development. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the necessity of this bill cannot be overemphasized. The current state of police training institutions across the country is inadequate to meet the growing demand of law enforcement agencies. Many of our existing training facilities are underfunded, outdated, and lack the necessary infrastructure and curriculum to provide specialized training needed for today's officers. Our officers need to be equipped not just with basic skills of policing, but with the advanced knowledge of intelligence gathering, forensic science, counter-terrorism, cybercrime investigation, human rights enforcement, and community policing techniques. Furthermore, this bill proposes the establishment of the state-of-the-art training institution that will serve as high-level centers for professional development. The institutions are listed. You can see them from 1 to 18. Objective of the bill: 1, to establish specialized police training institutions that will provide professional and specialized training to police officers at all levels. 2, to develop a curriculum that reflects modern policing needs, focusing on areas such as counter-terrorism, cybercrime, intelligence, criminal investigation, and community policing, while integrating human rights and conflict resolution training. 3, to equip this institution with modern facilities, equipment, and qualified instructors, ensuring that the training provided is comprehensive, hands-on, and reflective of real-world challenges. 4, to foster collaboration with international law enforcement bodies for knowledge exchange, technology transfer, and best practice sharing allowing our officers to stay updated on global policing trends. 5, to promote continuous education and development for officers throughout their careers, emphasizing the importance of ongoing training, particularly in the light of the rapid advancement in technology and the evolving nature of crime. In conclusion, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the need for a modern, well-trained, and highly professional police force cannot be overstated. In the face of rising security challenges, we must invest in the capacity of law enforcement agencies to perform their duties effectively. I therefore urge my colleagues to give their full support to this bill. Together, let us take this critical step toward transforming the Nigerian police force into a more efficient, effective, and professional institution. I so move.
Former Senate President,
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, my name is Ahmed Ibrahim Lawan. I represent Yobe North. Mr. President, let me commend the Committee on Police Affairs for bringing this very important and comprehensive report on the need to establish police training institutions. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, today the security challenges of Nigeria are not like the challenges in 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Our police has remained that police with its attitude, with its outfit, with its psychology of maybe 40 years ago. Mr. President, often we clamor for more police. Yes, we can do that. But it is equally very, very important and critical and crucial that the police we have, no matter the number, is properly trained, properly kitted, and properly well-fed. The training institutions, of course, will be the starting point in terms of their capacity and competence to deal with issues in their mandates. But, Mr. President, after the training, what goes on? If a policeman will be wearing slippers or he buys his uniform, how do you expect such a policeman, even with the best of training, to be efficient and effective? No. So we need to be very committed as a government. And I believe that this Senate, and indeed the National Assembly, can do it. Not only equip the training institutions for better training for our police, officers and men, but also in conducting their mandate, protecting us. If we are able to do that, then the training institutions would have produced officers and men who can be efficient and effective. So I believe that time has come for us to look at our security institutions, to not only give them the training that is required, that is commensurate with the crime and the kind of criminal activities these days we witness in Nigeria, but to ensure that they are properly kitted. A policeman elsewhere, Mr. President, you know, and distinguished colleagues, when you see one, you see a complete outfit ready to take on anyone who wants to go against the law. But ours, and this should be the end, you see a policeman, and I'm sorry if I will really say something that somebody will not find comfortable. The next thing he will tell you, I'm hungry. Oga, find something. Even pure water. Mr. President, we must give them not only training, but the cost to have dignity, the cost to remain competent and effective. And therefore, not only giving them training, but we should give them a better welfare, we should give them a better outfit to combat crime to protect us. And I want to take this opportunity, finally, to commend all our security agencies across the country for giving us whatever service they are giving us, because we give them very little to provide the service that we all need. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. I can see a lot of senators want to speak.
Distinguished colleagues, my name is Ezanwa Onyewuchi, and I represent Imo East Senatorial District. Mr. President, I consider this bill an important one, and I'm sure it is born out of Senator Maduri's experience and interaction with the police. And this bill couldn't have come at a better time, because I believe that we are in dire need of these training institutions. We need to go back and train our police officers in proper intelligence gathering, because I believe, Mr. President, that having our police officers take over the roads will not achieve a lot. They need to go back to intelligence gathering. That way they will have the requisite information they need to fight crime. And a training school that will take care of that is very key to our security challenges. And in the area of operations also, in most cases where we have confrontation or combat with men of the underworld, we find out that most times we lose our police officers. We even lose the arms and ammunition to men of the underworld. This can well be settled by proper training for the police. So we cannot handle our security challenges without going back to the issue of training.
You have 1 second remaining. 1 second.
Training and retraining of our police officers. So I believe this is an important bill, and I want to urge my colleagues to please support this bill. Thank you.
We have Minority Leader, then Senator Adam Alero. You have, you can go in.
Thank you, Mr. President. The importance of training our security agencies cannot be overemphasized. So I'm rising to support this bill. I am supporting what the previous speakers have said. I'm even going to support even those who have not said whatever they want to say. So far, this bill is passed. But I have an observation, Mr. President. A bill that proposed the establishment of state-of-the-art training institutions across the country. And this bill proposed 18 institutions. 18 here, existing. Now, these 18 institutions, Mr. President, that are going to be refurbished, I am also trying to put up one important point. In Enugu, there's a police training institute, which is not covered here. And if you check these 18 institutions that we mentioned, none is in the southeast. So this is an observation, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Mohammed Adam Alero. I represent Kebbi Central. Mr. President, let me commend the sponsor of this very important bill. It is timely in view of the fact that the nation is currently facing very serious security challenges. And these security challenges has to do with lack of training, lack of manpower, and other related issues that affect the performance of the police force. And for that reason, Mr. President, I wholeheartedly support the bill, and I urge my colleague to support it. But Mr. President, let me say that if we have properly trained police force and we have enough number of policemen, there will be no need for even the state police. It is this situation we find ourselves that we are now calling for state police. And we know very well that our training schools are not properly equipped. There are emerging challenges like cybersecurity, counterterrorism, banditry, and what have you. And to be honest, these crimes are new, and our police force cannot really solve them. And that's why we resort to bring in the army to come and assist the police. The primary role of the police force is to maintain internal security in the country. It is only when the police cannot maintain internal security, then we bring the army. And other crimes, Mr. President, this is what is obtained. Police force, primarily, they don't get, they are only involved in maintaining internal security. Then, when it comes to external threats, territorial integrity of the country, then we bring the army. So it is important we train our police force, not only training them, but we equip them, we give them motivation, we support them with funds to carry out their responsibility.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I support this very important bill, and I urge my colleagues to do the same. Thank you.
Senator.
Mr. President, my name is Senator Yunus Biodun Akitunde. I represent Oyo Central and the Deputy Chairman, Senate Committee on Police. The information I'm trying to pass, Mr. President, is that we need to understand that what we are discussing is not the establishment of the listed colleges. We are talking of police institutes. And point of correction is that you have police colleges. There is no region without this establishment. It's just an omission on this paper. To correct the minority leader, you have police college in Oji River. You have police detective college in Enugu again. So you have colleges across the nation, but we are discussing the institution, the Police Training Institute. And it's because of the omission and no law backing up the establishment of all this. That's why there is no budgetary provision for them. That is the issue we are discussing here. Thank you.
Thank you for your clarification. Thank you for the information. You may proceed, Senator.
What the Deputy Chairman said is actually in order. This is a bill that seeks to give a legal backing to the police institutions. As they are now, the 18 of them are mere administrative pronouncements, of which their budgetary allocations is modeled in the budget of the police. And therefore, anytime the budget is passed, the meager amount that goes to these institutions are very minimal, just to satisfy salaries, and therefore they have no other duties but to just pay salary. So what this bill seeks to achieve is in making sure that when the budget comes next time, there will be a new allocation under the subhead of the budget of the Nigerian police for institutions. And this institution will rightly go and execute the assignment as canvassed by quite a number of our colleagues. Sufficient to say, sir, I was the chairman of the Police Affairs Committee of the House between 2011 to 2015. Most of these pronouncements were made by the executive without bringing such pronouncements for the National Assembly to give its legal backing. With this, we must commend the chairman, and then we can also commend the IG for bringing forth to bear. It is important for people in this country to recognize it is not every day that we pass a negative remarks about Nigeria. With this kind of bills, we're making progress. We're trying to run away from the military dictatorship kind of things and bringing to the public what the government intends to achieve over time. This bill sufficiently informs me, and I'm convinced that this country is making progress and is attending, there is a serious intention to attend to our security needs. The security architecture has not been able to bring a catalyst for growth and development. But once we understand that these are the kind of things that we need, certainly in the next few years, things will definitely change. I commend the committee, of which also I'm a member, and the IG for putting heads together to bring this bill together. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much for your part, Senator, who is well known for having his opinion, said at all times without fear or favor. Coming out to commend the IGP, to commend the government, to commend the committee is something that is highly patriotic. And this is how we want this country to be run by our leaders. Once something good is done, all of us should put heads together. And once we have national challenges, let's forget about party. Let's come together all the time to find solution on how to surmount such problems. I commend you for doing that, and I also commend the IGP for being looking forward, looking inwards to make sure that the police is well funded. This is a very good tactic, bringing the fact to the fore in terms of getting appropriation for these institutes. I think it's very innovative. Let me say that, very, very innovative. I commend the IGP, I commend the chairman for really propelling this idea. So I now have gotten 3 here, right? 3 from this side. We now move here. No, we'll come here, but 2 minutes so that everybody will speak. In between 2 of you, okay. Well, I'll not take you because you are very close to our former Senate President. He has spoken. So we take to the next person. No, Anthony, not you. We take Plan. You have been disadvantaged because you are in the middle.
My colleagues, I'm Senator Dicket Plang, Senator representing Plateau Central. I rise also to commend the mover of this motion. Last week, I was at home, and particularly I was intimated by the police staff college in Jos. And their issue is in tune with what the chairman Senate committee has brought. Most of their institutions are left at the will of the police the police administrative part in terms of issues that have to do with development. And therefore, for the fact that most of them are established without an act, they don't have anything in the budget specifically for them. And therefore, the mover of this motion has helped me because I was looking for how I will bring this in. And I feel that, like the police staff colleges, they are equivalent of the command staff college of judges for the military. And the level of budgetary allocation to the military college has a wide gap compared to the one of the police. Now, and as said by the previous presenters, crime and criminal are dynamic. They change with time. If we don't really watch, we will leave them handicapped without actually having the capacity to deal with criminality. This bill, sir, I would even want to extend that this bill should also make it possible for the police, colleges, and institutes to enjoy assistance from TETFund, just as some of the military institutions have assistance, capital assistance from TETFund. Because it's really wide, and the training and areas of need are wide. I believe in it in totality, and I pray that we will watch this and add more value to this bill so that at the end of the day, criminality will be technically handled in our country. I thank you for the opportunity, sir.
Thank you. Not technically, it will be practically. Yes, thank you very much. Now, let's, we got 3, okay, we are still here. Okay, Senator Osita. We have to.
Mr. President of the Senate, my name is Osita Ezunaso. I represent Imo West. Mr. President, I would like to commend the movers of this motion, the bill in particular. But there's something very significant about this bill. Senator Yunusu have explained it. We are not seeking to establish any agency here. All these agencies are already established. We are just giving it a legal backing so that they can have budgetary provision for them. That is all. Now, but if you look at the last page, which is the financial compendium of these establishments, you can see that the amount of money being proposed here defeats the purpose. Because I'm only seeing salaries and wages, allowances. What about training? What about communication equipment? What about other things that are needed by all these institutions? So I think that what they are proposing in the financial compendium is grossly inadequate. Grossly inadequate. Because if we are saying that we need a very viable, strong police force with very strong institutions, this is not the kind of money we should be talking about.
Senator Osita, you are going too technical. You know, all these things are mere presentations. When it comes to the budgetary process, they will get they will bring forward,
but I just want the Senate to note that what is being proposed here is not realistic, so that they will have it at the back of their mind eventually. Now, about the police academies, the academies are not here. What we have here is the institutions. So I will urge the same committee to come back with another amendment of the police academy, so they can cite academies where they are not and are supposed to be cited. And the chairman of the committee has promised me that they're working on it. So we'll look forward for them to bring another amendment about police academy to be able to take care of Host and Who's fears. Because if you look at 18 institutions, none of them is cited in the Southeast. But when they come back with the amendment of the academy, then you will have some already in existence.
Thank you. When we get to the river, we know how to cross it.
Thank you.
You bring that, okay, maybe the chairman wants to make some. Thank you very much. The clarification has been made.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Victor Ume. I represent Anambra Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, I rise to say that I support wholly and entirely the principles behind this bill, which is to get our police force properly trained, because a well-trained police force will be able to engage the population, the citizens, in very ethical ways, and they will be able to know what they should not do in doing their duties. So training is very important, and I support that. We need so much training facilities in this country, because our security situation requires more men to be able to help in providing civilized security. The observation I was itching to make has been raised by Senator Izunaso, and I think it's a question of semantics now. For me, you have police colleges, you have police training institutions, and you have police academies. I don't know what these three different institutions do, what separates them in terms of functions. And looking at the proposed budgetary provision, I agree too that what the sponsor of the bill has, maybe out of fear that there is no money now, there's no point sponsoring something that will be done and you don't fund it properly. These provisions are far inadequate for us to have a functional training institution that will be described as state-of-the-art training institutions. We have not considered what will be needed to make these training institutions actually the state of the art. So I will stand down my order.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'll stand down my order observation of how these things were distributed until it comes next week.
So that South will be not, so that South will not be marginalized.
This red cap will not be marginalized. So that by next
Thank
week,
you.
when
You are an elder statesman. That's why you have not come out clear to say that. I was expecting you to say South is marginalized.
No, I won't say that.
But you,
I know what's going on. So
no problem. Thank you very much. Thank you for saying the more the merrier.
The more the merrier.
Thank
so you. We have more institutions.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Senator Austin, you have the floor.
My dear colleagues, I remain Austin Akobundu representing Abia Central Senatorial District. Your Excellency, I want to join all our colleagues to commend the author or authors of this bill. It is coming at a very, very appropriate time when the nation is faced with grave security challenges. For emphasis, I want to state that even the involvement of the military in internal security should have been the responsibility solely of the Nigerian police force as the primary first-line internal security agency. What is needed is fully encapsulated in this bill, accepting the observations already made by our colleagues. I would like to suggest that we are very, very deliberate, that we should be very deliberate and pointed in making sure that not only providing equipment, but making sure that there is more recruitment of police officers. Oftentimes, many times at the floor of this Senate, my dear brother Senator Yaradua and I have stated that the role being carried out by the military are purely police responsibilities. And we need to infuse more police, well-trained policemen into our security architecture so that the military will begin to pull back from internal security duties and face their primary responsibilities of defending the territorial integrity of this nation, while they will establish an interface between them and the police, tying security properly for efficiency and effectiveness. Thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Senator Austin, for...
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Neda Emerson, representing Edo South Senatorial District. Mr. President, again, I join my voice to support this bill and to also support the observation of the Senate President Emeritus, Senator Lawal, on his observation. I guess what I had in mind have been actually conversed, especially coming to the financial compendium of this bill. We are talking about the 21st century policing, in which case modern tools such as the computers and the like will come to use. And therefore, even in the recruitment process, I think the police should focus more on those who are very savvy in this area, because it is not the number of policemen that we have that will help us to combat crime in this country. It is their training. And to be well trained also means that they should have the requisite background to be trained. References to police men and women wearing slippers and begging for money on the streets is very much reminiscent of those in the lower cadre. And I also would say that this lower cadre qualification to enter into the police force should also be taken up. We have graduates who are roaming our streets, whether from polytechnics to college of education to universities, that we can actually target them and bring them to the police force and give them the adequate training that will help to train them in such a manner that they can not be intimidated, in such a manner that they can not be so cheap, and to do their job diligently with the adequate training. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. And thank you for giving me
3 minutes. You said 1 minute on top of the 2 minutes given to others. My name is Patrick Seyndubeza, representing Imo North, Okigwe. I've been asking for your permission to speak, and most of the speakers have raised the salient points that I want to come by with, but still some left. I will, like when Mr. Senator Osita mentioned about the budgetary provisions, I heard your reply, but we don't need to be economical with the truth. From onset, we should go all out. That's one. Then, on the issue raised about the institutions, colleges, and the training, address of them, I believe that most, for example, here, what these institutions were coming up with, they have been in existence, but unfortunately, no laws backing them, which is bad. Now we are doing this. What I am suggesting is there should be a review of the laws for anyone who have had already, whether academy or the rest of them, and make it all-encompassing as law governing training, institution, academy, because they are almost talking of the same thing in our policing institutions, so that it will be one law, but on clauses separating them within. And I think that will be better. Then, in so doing, they will bring up all the list of institutions and academy for police that we have. We should know where they are cited. It's very, very important. And I will now say, first, I commend my brother, Senator Ambassador Maduri, for the good job he's done. And believing that what all we have said here will be made proper use of, and when they are coming with a final bill. But then,
thank you. You have spent 4 minutes.
No. It's just 1 minute I've spent. But I will now sit down. So, and by the time he comes up with the final draft, the amendment that all the rest of them is coming up with, let him consider, or let the committee consider, proper equipment of those, whether you call them institutions, academy, training, they should be properly equipped. Those places, so that the police officers coming out from there will from there learn how to use modern and technological equipment to serve the nation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Professor Anthony Ani.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Anthony Ani, Ebonyi South. I want to commend the author or authors of this bill. Much has been said. I want to lend my voice to the voices that have lent credence to this bill. There is no point repeating most of the things already said, but there are some technicalities that I feel I should point out. For instance, we are talking of institutions. It should be clearly stated, defined, the differences between institutions, colleges, and academies as far as police training is concerned. Secondly, we are talking of specialized training for police. I think to make the bill robust and richer, the audience for this institution should be defined. What do I mean? Are we talking of recruiting police officers? Or is this institution meant for career policemen. If that is so, I mean, if the letter is so, it means that real specialized curriculum that will take care of the current situation, especially as it concerns crime, should be.
Your time is off, Professor.
So,
Professor.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I think when next you beef it up, we still look at it and put some other little amendments. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, my distinguished colleagues, for your to the debate on this bill. This is good because the bill is very important as it affects the Nigerian police force, because we need to strengthen our police force so that we can get protected. We are facing a lot of internal security challenges, which is the main purview of the Nigerian police force. And I think, and everyone has said here, most people have said here, that once the police is well trained and well funded, they will be able to, do their work properly in a way that will become more protected. I commend, Mr. Chairman, you are well commended for your industry, for what you've been doing since you became the chairman of this committee. You've been up and doing, trying to reposition the Nigerian police force. You've been working together with the IGP. IGP should be commended as well, because he's doing a wonderful job. The team, your team and his team should be commended. And we hope you continue on what you are doing so that we'll put Nigerian police in the best position to perform its function in a way that will become more protected. So on this note, that I put the question, those in favor that this bill be now read a second time, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk of the Senate, you have the floor. Training institutions to serve as high-level center for the provision of professional training and for related matters 2024, second reading taken. And the bill is hereby referred to the Committee on Police Affairs to report within 2 weeks. The leader.